Hey, what's up? It's me, Sylvia West. I'm a certified professional dog trainer here in Los Angeles. I've been certified for 7 years now, but I've been working in the dog industry for over a decade in all different capacities. And this is just sort of like my little time where I like to talk about things that piss me off, things that I'm passionate about, and things that I care deeply about when it comes to the human animal bond and how that's being affected. Today, I want to talk about puppies and the vaccination myth. Now, I want to be very clear that I am not a veterinarian and this is in no way medical advice for your particular dog. But you know what grinds my gears? Just kidding, I'm not Peter Griffin. No, but what really gets me is when vets like scare the living crap out of new puppy parents and tell them like your dog can't go outside until they're fully vaccinated. And I just feel that we're doing such a disservice to young puppies that are coming into our homes and really setting them up for failure, because the AVSAB, which is the American Veterinary Board, I'm going to, Scotty, what's the AVSAB? What does it stand for?
AVSAB.
Yeah, the American Veterinary
Physicians.
Society, the
American Veterinary
Society of
Society.
Animal Behaviorists.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are like the veterinary behaviorists who like have PhDs in animal behavior. Their position statement is literally that you should start socializing your puppies very young at 8 weeks old. And they talk in the position statement about how titers and vaccines are much better than they used to be. You can also find open letters from other veterinarians to like veterinarians in general saying like, it's not the 90s. Please stop scaring your clients into thinking they can't take their dogs outside because we're creating mentally and emotionally unwell dogs. And I think the biggest misnomer is that when people hear their veterinarian say, don't take your dog outside, they take it really literally and they don't have their dog leave the house. And what's interesting is how vaccination timing correlates with your puppy's overall development, because their development is kind of on a wave, not unlike human development, right? It's on a wave. Like there's just certain, that's why we divide kids up into like elementary, middle, and high schools. Yeah, because there's just different things happening at each particular age group. And so you try to socially group these things together because it just makes sense. So if we look at puppies, yeah, right around 4 months old, we go through what's called like our first fear period, which is when your dog's brain is imprinting fear in the world, which means they're going out into the world and they're discovering things and they're having a fear response. If you've ever seen those videos of puppies like noticing their reflection in a mirror and barking at it, that's a perfect like summation of fear period. Yeah, it's like noticing things in the environment all of a sudden and responding in fear. Okay, so that's happening about 4 months old. What's also happening at about 4 months old is your puppy's getting all their vaccines. So you're taking all these dogs for the first time, because we listened to our vets and never walked outside with our puppies. So for the first time, they're entering our huge human world, seeing everything that it has to offer while also being in our fear period. It's horrible. It's like the worst thing in the world. So what I always try to remind my clients is like, it's a risk versus reward thing. Should you take your under vaccinated puppy, stick them on a leash and walk them around your neighborhood? No. Should you take your under vaccinated puppy and go to the dog park? No. Putting your puppy in situations where they're going to be at a higher risk for disease and illnesses like parvo and distemper and giardia and things like that is not the way to go. But there are calculated risks that you can take with your puppy that probably are going to be lower risk scale, like putting your puppy in a doggy Bjorn and walking them around the mall, or taking your puppy in a stroller if you've got a big puppy or a wagon and walking them around the neighborhood so that they get acclimated to the space you're in. When Juniper was 9 weeks old, I took her for a hike into the wilderness and let her walk around like deep into this trail that was in Altadena, and there was like a waterfall, and she splashed around in the little tiny 1-inch river, because the risk of reward, right? So if I'm looking at the risk of her picking up strange infected fecal or urine in this moving body of water stream, very low. The reward of her having this social experience with running water and the sound of water and wilderness and the smells of nature, very high, because ideally, am I going to be hiking with my dog for the rest of her life? Yes. So if I'm creating a positive social experience to that type of environment as early as I can, where her brain's going to like take it in and I can more easily mold her emotional experience in that moment, very, very, very high reward for me, worth the risk. Yeah. So that's the way that I really encourage people to think about socialization for their young puppy, because if we literally live in this world where we're like, I cannot take my dog outside or it is going to die, you're going to be in trouble, because your puppy socialization period is closing. That window for them to understand the world around them is short. 5 months old, 6 months maxed. So, find a puppy safe social class. Like, take them to a class to socialize with other puppies that have the same or more higher vaccination level than they do. If your puppy's more vaccinated than another puppy in class, your puppy's actually more protected than that puppy. So as long as you are making smart choices and smart decisions, then you and your puppy are going to be very safe. And that's, I think, kind of lost in translation, and something that I wish more veterinarians were having, like, that conversation as opposed to the your puppy's gonna die conversation, because I just don't think that that's fair. And then I get all of these like super under socialized, very timid, scared, low confident puppies that now we're looking to like train them at 8 months old out of these things, and really we're not going to change their mind about the environment. Their social standing is where it is. All we can do now is help them feel better in those moments, but we're never going to fix what they've been socialized to and how it's happened. So, yeah, I would say take your puppies out. Not out, like don't walk them around, but challenge that and check out the position statement from the AVSAB. I'll actually link it in the notes so you can read it for yourself. Do your research. Knowledge is power. Come back next week to hear me complain about other things. Bye.